Basically, I was
Up next.
watching Mahibai's, that is our former Indian captain, M.S.Dhoni.
Yeah,
Everybody says he's a captain cool. How does he handle or how does he control his emotions? I was watching one of his interviews and I
yeah.
got a very fantastic point that he mentions.
Mm-hmm.
He says it is I'm not a superhuman. I also feel emotions on the ground when things does not go my way. It is just
Yeah.
that I don't decide to show it outside.
Chat with Champions. Featuring Revathi Hariharan, psychologist, MSc Psychology Gold Medalist. Part 2. Podcast on air.
I'm sure everybody has this experience, like sitting with your friends in the class.
Hmm.
So your friend is cracking some jokes or something like that, and you laugh at a teacher. And there are like multiple instances where you actually get punished,
Hmm.
right? Though it was a
Yeah.
positive emotion, though it made you feel good, but it was not appropriate in that case. It didn't serve a purpose.
Hmm.
So that's very important. So next time, I would like to tell everyone this.
Hmm.
Next time you're feeling any emotion, whether it's positive, negative,
Hmm.
feel it, okay? Because they are there for a reason. Just don't try run from it. Feel
Hmm.
it, but actually ask this question instead: is it appropriate or is it serving any purpose right now?
Hmm.
If you get an answer for this, then go ahead with it. If you think it's not serving any purpose, right?
Hmm.
Then I think it's time for you to rethink and reflect upon and see, okay, what else can you do instead of just going for this, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, this is
That's
my
right. That's right.
perspective.
Great. Great. To complete that board exam point,
Yeah.
if you have board exam tomorrow and you have not prepared and you know nothing of the paper, what's going to be there, you don't know even your syllabus and topics, you can't expect yourself to be happy and joyful and laughing. Obviously, you will feel anxious, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, you should feel fearful because there is the chance of failing is really high. So it's a
yeah,
real thing. So that's what Revati is also suggesting for
yeah.
viewers. I
Just
would
a
like to clarify.
correction here.
And
Yeah.
also, after failing in an exam, it's not a Center Fresh ad. I've seen an ad, Center Fresh, in that the guy, that kid goes and tells to his father, upon a fail item, and his father laughs. It's not a Center Fresh ad. Obviously, your father will get angry at you for
Yeah,
failing. So,
it's not 2 minutes life, right? It's not like
yeah,
it's the
that's
ad
what
is
I wanted
actually
to
for two
point
minutes.
out there.
True, true. And
Yeah.
it's actually right what you said. It's actually appropriate what you said. Just one correction out there is, see, people tend to experience anxiety or
Hmm.
feeling anxious or tend to experience fearfulness. Okay,
Hmm.
it's not should. That's the only thing that I would like to correct there.
Okay.
Okay,
Hmm.
that's all.
Okay. Okay. And there is a very interesting question. Before closing, I would like to ask this question.
Yeah. Hmm.
Because you have specialized in psychology, like obviously your circle, people in your circle, obviously. Hello?
Yeah, yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So obviously, it might feel like a dumb question because uh,
That's okay.
obviously you're
Not
dealing in
any
psychology.
question is that question.
In all the Indian homes, the kids are told that don't laugh, the in the evening, night you will cry. This is a very common thing that we hear from Indian household. Like, don't laugh too much, night you will cry.
You
All
actually
right.
take it to another actually realm right now. So this is about the beliefs that you're talking.
Yeah,
So
so is it I won't ask, just I won't ask. It might feel like a dumb question. But is it true?
yeah, so that's what I'm actually trying to answer because see, emotions are one component and
Hmm.
beliefs are another, right?
Hmm.
So if we have to talk about beliefs, I think we have to do a separate like
Okay.
component for
So
this
it
in
has
order
no
to.
connection with the emotions that we are talking about. Okay.
So belief actually
Hmm.
tends to affect your emotions or actually has an impact on your emotions.
Hmm.
Okay,
How?
so the pattern goes like this.
Can
As I
you
told
give?
you, yeah, like there is a situation,
Hmm.
okay? The major thing that happens is like, let's say, I am actually walking in the road
Hmm.
and I see a person
Hmm.
driving scooty or something. I see
Hmm.
them fall down,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So how do I look at that situation? Okay. If
Hmm.
I actually say, oh, this woman fell down, let me go help her out. Oh, that's bad. If this is what I'm thinking, what I'll do, I'll run, right? And
Hmm.
I'll also start feeling a little empathetic and start helping the other person,
Hmm.
right? So my thought actually had an impact on my emotion as well as my behavior. Okay. If
Okay.
my thinking, the same situation, okay, a
Hmm.
person is driving, they fall down. Okay, let's say this person is one of my closest friends.
Hmm.
Okay, so I see this person falling down. The moment is, oh, yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
So what would be my initial reaction towards it? Would be laughter, right?
Hmm.
Then
Hmm.
I'll go there. I'll not help my friend out. First, I'll crack 10 jokes about
Hmm.
how she fall,
Hmm.
right? How she felt and
Hmm.
what happened to her, right? So
Hmm.
that's the first thing that I would do. So
Hmm.
even though the situation is same there, how I perceive it actually has an impact on what I do in my behavior as well as what emotions I. So that's how it is connected.
Okay, okay. So basically, what you're saying is beliefs have an impact on the way we are experiencing emotion. That is, let's take if there is two-person A and B at the
Mm-hmm.
same situation, they can react in different ways and they can experience different emotions based on their beliefs.
Exactly.
This is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, I
Based on
understood
your
that.
beliefs and your thinking pattern.
Thinking
So
pattern.
belief is like an upper level. Then
Ah.
you have your thoughts
Hmm.
and then comes your emotion. So yeah.
Yeah, great, great, great. So the last question that I have for today is,
Mm-hmm.
should negative emotions be controlled or dealt with? Because in the podcast, one thing that I understand from what you have explained to us, that
Mm-hmm.
is negative emotions are natural. Just like how
Yes.
we feel happy, we also sometimes feel sad, right?
Yes. Yes.
So some people are like, control your emotions, control your negative emotions, and all these things. And obviously, there is a things like boys should not. All these things are myths and stereotypes anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
still, boys should not cry, girls should not get angry. All these things, these stereotypes are there. So I'm asking you, should negative emotions be
Mm-hmm.
controlled or dealt with?
Yeah. So this is a very beautiful question. Okay. So
Hmm.
what happens is right. Have you seen a rubber band? I'm sure you've seen a rubber band.
Yeah.
So if you actually try elongating the rubber band, okay, there's a
Hmm.
limit to which it can elongate, and even after that, you try pushing it. What happens? It breaks.
Breaks.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how even our mind is. Okay.
Hmm.
So what happens? I see something.
Hmm.
Okay. And I actually fear this. I get this negative emotion of fear. Okay.
Hmm.
But I'm actually trained from a very young age to not get fearful about anything.
Hmm.
Okay, that's it. So what I'll do in this situation, okay, I'm actually experiencing fear, but I'm
Hmm.
not able to show it out because in my family, showing fear out is considered being important. Okay,
Hmm.
a person only who's incapable will show fear. A person who is courageous will never experience this emotion of fear,
Hmm.
right? So, but everybody does experience fear in some way or other, right? In some situation, everybody goes through this emotion of fear. Whenever you're trying something that's new, whenever
Hmm.
you're in a new place, whenever you're trying to learn something that's new for the first time, right?
Hmm.
You actually tend to feel a little like scared or this emotion of fear. Okay, what will happen? Because you're uncertain, right?
Hmm.
So you get a natural reaction. But the early messages and everything that we have in our brain, what happens is, right? It
Hmm.
starts sending a negative opposite, not a negative but an opposite message to you. Okay,
Hmm.
so what we actually tend to do, we start, okay, I'm not feeling pure, I'm not feeling pure, I'm not feeling pure. Okay, you start giving this message to you. Okay,
Hmm.
that's one thing. Or what other thing, the one thing that we all do is distract ourselves. So the moment I experience fear, what I
Hmm.
do, okay, let me focus on something else. Let me play a music and listen to the music so that my attention goes to the music and I'm
Hmm.
actually like thinking of something else than
Hmm.
experiencing this fear,
Hmm.
right? So this is another way of avoidance, right? Or
Hmm.
another way would be like I'm actually experiencing fear, but I cannot show it out to another person. So I'll find someone who's more weaker to me. Okay, like for example, I have a younger sister or someone in my house. Okay, so I can do anything to my younger sister, right? Because she's not gonna come and like do anything towards me, right? So
Hmm.
I go and shout at this person for
Hmm.
anything that she's done in the past or right now. Okay, so in all of this, I'm using one or the other way to actually escape or avoid the emotion, right? So
Hmm.
what happens is, let's say you have a faucet or a pipe in the house, okay, and you have the connection which brings the water, right? So what happens, let's imagine the brain to be something like this as well. Okay, and the brain and your body. Okay, like a connection of circuits together. Okay, simply to put it. So what happens is that if you have a block in the pipeline, do you think the water will flow properly when you open the tap?
No, it won't.
No, it won't. So initially you will have a light dip in the water's flow, right?
Hmm.
You will not realize it, but you feel, okay, I don't think the like volume of the water is so great, or I think it's a little low to do, right?
Hmm.
That's the initial. So let's say every time you're experiencing any emotion, okay,
Hmm.
positive, negative, mostly negative emotions, we tend to suppress it, or we're trying to avoid it, or we're trying to escape from it. Okay, that's how I feel.
Hmm.
Okay, so I do multiple things like this for anger. I get angry at a person, I'm not able to talk to this person. Either I go shout at them, either I throw things, I bash another person, or I leave the situation. I'm not experiencing that anger. So it's getting stored as a block. Okay.
Hmm.
So every time this blocks are getting together and it's becoming big. One day when you open the tap, there'll be no water flow.
Hmm.
Right? That's how
That's
even
true.
your mind and your body would work. Okay, the more you start putting everything in and you start suppressing, okay,
Hmm.
the moment it actually goes a lot, okay, the force with which it will come out will be bigger and you'll not be able to contain or control it. Okay, it's just like a bouncing ball. The
Hmm.
more you bounce it down, like for example, you try to push it down,
Hmm.
the intensity with which it will bounce will be greater, right?
Hmm.
That's how even the emotions would work. See, you're getting angry, okay. From the next time, you're just trying to understand the purpose of this anger, okay? Somebody did something to you, somebody did something that's not right, or you don't think it was right for them to do that, okay? Or somebody hurt you, okay? That's when you feel anger, right? So what happens? You understand, okay, I'm actually feeling angry. So you will understand your body's sign, like my heartbeat is becoming fast, I'm sweating, or I'm getting like my fists are closing, right? Most people tend to experience it. They feel that there is a force in their hands, okay, or in
Hmm.
their shoulder, right? For
Hmm.
different people, it's different things, and for different emotions, it's different things. So it's important for you to pay attention to this, okay?
Hmm.
Once you know that, it gives you a confirmation, okay, I'm actually feeling this emotion. So you have a choice, okay?
Hmm.
You have a choice of going and hitting another person. You have a choice of going and talking to another person. You have a choice of taking a break from the situation, or you have a choice of shouting or saying nasty things to another person. So these are multiple options that we have, right? In every situation, like every situation, irrespective of what emotions you feel, there are always multiple options and choices on how you can react to it. Okay, this will take a lot of time. Okay, but the more you actually pay attention to it and the more you are able to practice it, you will get more comfortable with it. Okay, now I know I'm angry. I
Hmm.
think in this situation I cannot, it's one of my elder member in the family who's doing something to irritate me or something to piss me off. Okay,
Hmm.
so I cannot go and shout at another person, or I cannot hit the other person. So
Hmm.
those options are automatically eliminated. Okay, either I can leave the place and come back and talk to this person at a later point in time, or I can have a normal conversation with this person as to why we are doing it, right?
Hmm.
So like this, I can decide. So if I'm feeling angry, it's important for me to experience that anger, not repress.
Hmm.
So that's very important. So instead of avoiding or like running away from it, okay, I know for most people, even for me initially to start with, I was a person who don't get into it because I try to escape the situation, right?
Hmm.
I actually used to avoid situations. Okay, I'm feeling angry. Okay, I don't want to feel angry and like upset myself and affect my whole day because of it. Okay, so I
Hmm.
used to run away. So I used to give my messages things like, okay, calm down, nothing is happening, nothing is happening. But that anger is going to stay somewhere. And
Hmm.
next time something is going to happen, there's already a component of block of anger.
Hmm.
Okay, and Chinnaga, even something happens, right? You
Hmm.
actually feel a little more aroused.
Hmm.
So the intensity will become too much for you. So instead of running away and avoiding that emotion, if you actually start feeling it,
Hmm.
right? Okay, I'm experiencing this emotion. Okay, let me experience it. Okay? Once you give yourself this option, right, then you will know, your brain will start actually thinking to say, okay, what can I do in this situation? Okay. But whenever what happens is, right, when we're experiencing emotion in a great intensity, your brain actually, your thinking part of the brain stops functioning. Okay. Because there are actually two different areas of the brain that controls two different things. Okay. Wow. So, like when the emotions take over, okay, just let's put it like this. இப்போ ஒரு இடத்துல நம்ம காத்து அடிக்கிறோம்னா இன்னொரு டயருக்கு காத்து போகுமா? போகாது. அதுல இருக்கிற காத்து தான் இருக்கும். ஒரு டயர்ல மட்டும்தான் காத்து ஜாஸ்தி ஆகும். ரைட்? அதே மாதிரிதான் இப்போ வந்து என்னோட ஒரு பார்ட் ஆஃப் பிரெயின் வந்து எமோஷன்ஸை கண்ட்ரோல் பண்றது, இன்னொரு வந்து திங்கிங்கை கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ணுதுங்கிறப்போ எமோஷன்ஸ் பீக்கா எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் பண்ணும்போது அந்த பார்ட் ஆக்டிவேட் ஆகி அங்கேருந்து மெசேஜ் வந்துட்டே இருக்கு. ரைட்? திங்கிங் பார்ட்டோட இடத்துக்கு பிளட் ஃப்ளோ, ஆக்சிஜன் மேல எடுத்துன்னு போறது, லைக் நியூரல் கனெக்ஷன் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆக்டிவேட்டிங். அங்க ஆக்டிவேட் ஆகலைங்கிறப்போ என்னோட திங்கிங்க்கு போற இதெல்லாமே வந்து எமோஷன்ஸ் டுவர்ட்ஸா டைரக்ட் ஆயிட்டு. ரைட்? when you experience that emotion, then என்ன ஆகும்னா the flow starts regulating. So you will be able to come back to your senses and you will be able to decide, okay, what can I do in this situation? Can I go bash that person? Can I say something that's nasty? Or can I have a talk with this person in a civilized manner? Or I'm not supposed to talk about it. So like, do I journal it? Or do I like go on a walk and like get some fresh air? So these are different choices that we have. Okay? So the more aware we become about what we are feeling, and the more we are able to label the emotions, because certain emotions are so similar to each other, right? If you ask another person, what is that you're feeling? They'll not be able to tell a difference between happiness or excitement, anger and hurt, right? They are more like similar to each other. Or frustration and irritation, they're like very similar to each other. But the more you start understanding the components of emotions, right, in depth, or like understanding how your body is reacting to it, so the moment you start feeling it instead of running away from it, you will actually figure out a lot of ways to deal with it. So that's the best way to do it.
Great, Revati, great, Revati. It was a very, on a personal note, it was very helpful for me, whatever things that you discussed right now. Basically, I was watching Mahibai's, that is our former Indian captain, M.S.Dhoni.
Yeah.
Everybody says he's a captain cool. How does he handle, or how does he control his emotions? I was watching one of his interviews and I got a very fantastic point that he mentions. He says I'm not a superhuman. I also feel emotions on the ground when things does not go my way. It is just that I don't decide to show it outside. It is not for public display. I'm not showing it outside, but inside I'm feeling that. So I'm taking a conscious decision there. Whether should I show, if I show that emotion, will the performance improve? So then I come to the conclusion, if I show the emotion, the performance will not improve, it will drop. So basically this is what he was trying to say. This is how I put it in my words. Basically he said it in two-liner, like how cool he answers to questions. Anyway, but this is what he was trying to say. So then, and what he said, now I'm able to relate with what you are saying on a professional note.
Yeah, it's actually the same. So he has his level of mastery and it actually takes effort. See, when you actually start cycling, right? When we all learn how to cycle, the first day we're not pro at it. We'll fall, right? We'll actually half pedal. We'll be standing on it to balance it. Okay. Things like that. But once you know how to actually cycle, okay, you will become so pro at it. You don't have to even care. You know how the leg is moving, how your hands are placed. Okay, you can do multiple other things and still cycle, right? So that's how even emotions are. That's how even any behavior is, to put it, right? So he's so aware of his emotions. He's never said, I'm running away from that emotion, right? He is understanding that he's in pressure or he's experiencing anxiety. That's very important. Once you know that and you experience that, instead of like shunning it down, saying that, oh, I'm not supposed to do this, but you're actually saying, okay, I'm anxious, I'm feeling anxious, I'm getting scared right now. What do I do? Do I panic and like throw up here? Or do I think what are the options that I have and explore them? So this is a choice. So that is what he's able to do at this level. So that's what I'm saying. Like for all of us to begin with, will need a lot of effort. Because we are actually taking very small baby steps, right? So even the next time if you're able to experience any emotion, right? Even if you're able to point that out, that would be a great start for most of us. Okay. And the step a little further from that is able to distinguish. So in the day, what are the different emotions I felt? I woke up happily, but my mom did something that made me angry. Then my friend actually came and met me after a very long time, so I felt excited. So if you're able to differentiate different emotions and then label them, that's a good goal. Then you slowly start realizing when there is a change in your body, okay, this person did this, so I'm actually getting triggered and I'm feeling angry or I'm feeling upset because I can feel my body like I'm sweating, I'm getting like my fists are getting tight, okay? So these are cues. So then if you're able to slowly do this, all of us could become MSD in the like long run. We'll all be like it.
Yeah,
Where we'll be
I
able
wish
to
everybody would would be that. Anyway, Revati, it was a fantastic conversation that we had. I would hope that this conversation would never end, but anyway, we have our own time constraints.
yes.
So on that basis, we are going to end this fantastic conversation that we had with Revati. It was a great learning experience, guys. I must confess that, I was mind boggled by hearing all these facts and how psychology is a very interesting subject, by the way, because you understand how we behave. You can then, when you understand how you are behaving, only then you will be able to change the way you want yourself to behave. You can change it, or what is the behavior that you're showing. That's very important to analyze first of all,
Yeah.
because oftentimes we see that we complain about others' behavior, but most of the cases it is your behavior which would be the root cause of the problem. Anyways, all these things are there. So thank you so much, Revati, for coming on this chat with champions and explaining to our viewers and me all those things just within uh, fractions of minutes. You have explained a whole lot of concept, and I hope this helps the viewers. Thank you,
Yeah,
Revati.
just parting words from my side.
Yeah.
I think it was used to all of you. Like, I try to keep it as simple as possible because sometimes when we talk, we tend to talk a lot of terms, right?
Yeah.
That's a disadvantage that comes because we don't realize, okay, people like sometimes they don't get it in the same flow, right?
Hmm.
So I'm sure at least to some extent I've answered bits and parts here and there.
Hmm.
And thank you so much for having me in this because I actually wanted to help in any way that I could do
Hmm.
because there are always a lot of things that we could discuss. The initial component of discussion is what will lead to a lot of progression. I basically believe in this fact. So
Hmm.
it's just about perspective. Sometimes I could be wrong. Sometimes
Hmm.
the things that I'm saying would be okay with 10 people, but 10 other person will find it like, okay, it's not right. It doesn't work like that for me, right? There's
Hmm.
always individual changes, and that's the beauty of all of us, right? That's how we're all different and unique according to psychology. We're not trying to generalize anything here. Even if
Hmm.
you disagree, that okay, that's fine. Till the moment that we're able to talk about it and find a way out, that's
Hmm.
still okay. And I would also like to tell all of them to take care and stay safe. I know times are not that great, both
Hmm.
physically and also mentally for all of us.
Hmm.
So I know if you're experiencing any emotions which is unpleasant, please do experience it. Don't shun it away because the more you shun it away, it's going to stick longer with you with a greater intensity. Yes, we're going through rough times. Yes, we are in a very bad shape currently with the second wave and everything. But just don't lose faith and hope because we've fought through a lot of battles before and we will also be fighting through a lot of battles in the future. So just experience it, talk about it to people. They'll also experience something similar. Maybe they'll share some insight that have worked for them.
Hmm.
So just do that. That's the only way out. We are here to help each other, and that's the
Hmm.
way out because that's what our forefathers have been doing. Now we are so little like individualistically mindset, right? Like oriented,
Hmm.
where we feel okay. It's weak to show what is that you're feeling, or weak to actually express these concerns to others. It's not actually weak. It's
Hmm.
actually it takes a lot of courage to do that. So
Hmm.
just take that minute step so that you'll know how beautifully everybody is connected in one way or the other to each other, right? So
Hmm.
yeah, thank you.
Beautiful words, Revati. Beautiful words to conclude this video. So thank you guys for listening to this whole podcast. Revati is live doing this podcast from Mumbai, and thank you, Revati, for your time. If you are facing any problem, comment below. There are a lot of people, in the community, in the society who want to help others. But if you have a problem, comment below, and there'll be a lot of people who will be with you, and we can guide you and help you out. And I'll bring in more valuable content like this. And be safe, stay in your home, wear masks, and use hand sanitizers and all these things. Humans have won bigger battles, and this is one among them. I know that we are going to win this. So thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to never miss an update on any of the videos. Thank you. Have a nice day.